You probably don't have much reason to be optimistic about a game like this. Now, let's be honest, from Mario Basketball to Mario Sports Mix, the recent track record for games in which Square Enix and Nintendo combine forces has been disappointing. And frankly, the last thing you probably need in your Wii collection is another board game. But against all my expectations, this game is actually a lot of fun. You might think the multiplayer magic that defined the Wii in its early years has faded, but when you play Fortune Street, it reminds you why you loved the system in the first place. Released late last year, Fortune Street was poised to be one of the Wii's last major third-party releases. Although calling it major seems a bit excessive, you have to keep in mind that on Wii, major is a relative term when describing third-party releases. The thing is, though, you can define its significance however you'd like. The bottom line is, when friends are over and remotes are handy, Fortune Street is pure gold. The general idea is basically a combination of Nintendo's Mario Party and the classic board game Monopoly. You roll the dice to move around the game board, with the main objective being to accumulate wealth. Like Monopoly, you can buy properties, and you can also upgrade by investing money back into them. The first player to reach a given amount of wealth and return to the bank wins. I know it sounds boring, it's actually awesome. While its premise is similar, the game does quite a bit to separate itself from Monopoly. For starters, there are 4 suits scattered across the board: the hearts, spades, clubs, and diamonds. And once you get all 4 of those, you can return to the bank for a promotion. So rather than continuing to circle the board, you're actually choosing where to move and what to pursue. The game also throws in a stock market, which has a profound effect on all the transactions that happen in Fortune Street. If the market is up, your investments are going to yield positive returns, but a bad market can really throw a wrench into your plans. It's a unique addition that adds even more depth to Fortune Street, but it is kind of a random factor, and so fortunately, you can play without it. In fact, while the game has a lot of complex elements, it also has a much simpler gameplay mode that streamlines the affair into a far more accessible experience. It's actually the way I preferred to play, as it made things a lot easier for more players to understand. And since it is a multiplayer game, it's great to have that option. If you're playing with casual gamers, play with the easy roles. If you're playing with veterans, play the normal mode. It's that flexibility that makes Fortune Street such a nice package. And of course, there's also the characters. Fortune Street combines the worlds of Dragon Quest and Super Mario, so you have game boards based on locations from those franchises and a selection of characters from each. Now, it's purely aesthetic and has no effect on the game itself, but it is interesting to see these very different worlds combined. Plus, 10 points for having an Isle Delfino stage. Now, it may seem a bit contradictory to call this game a fresh experience for Wii, but in a sense, it really is. Most of the Wii's other board games involve mini-games, but they're nowhere to be found here. This is a board game, pure and simple, and it's a great choice for rekindling that old flame. So invite your friends over, because the Wii party is back with Fortune Street. It's like 2008 in here.